Welcome to Magnet Marketers, our weekly live show where we break down the head, heart, and hand approach to building sustainable growth in your business. During each episode, we share actual client marketing best practice examples, strategies, and tactics that will help you generate real results. Our belief? A magnet always works better than being a bullhorn to attract, retain, and build your brand. Ready to dive into this week's Relationship Marketing Training Tuesday? Well, let's get started. Here's your host, Mike Gingrich and Jessica Phillips. Yay, yay, yay. Hello, everyone. And welcome to this week of Training Tuesday Live. We're Magnet Marketers, where our goal is always to become a magnet with your marketing versus being a bullhorn. And this week, we're talking all about how you can stand out on LinkedIn, using LinkedIn to stand out, because we all know that that is the place for business. And we have the perfect guest to dive into all the tools, tactics, and techniques that you can use on LinkedIn to truly stand out. She's done an amazing job of this herself, Vivica Van Rosen. And before we introduce her, though, and all of her beauty and wisdom, a quick hello, if we've not met before. My name is Jessica Phillips with Now Marketing Group and the Relationship Marketing System. My personal mission is to help you love more, give more, and be more through the art of authentic relating. And my co-host, it's Mike Gingrich. Mike has 3 blogs that he manages while running, biking, swimming, and traveling. Yeah, that's Mike. Sometimes he sleeps in there too, I think. I don't know. But Mike, how's
on
it
the
going?
planes?
Yeah, on the planes. There you go.
Yes, I'm doing well, and I'm at my desk right now, which this is where people see me, but honestly, this is the only time I'm at my desk, really. So
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. We were just talking about taking steps and trying to get our fitness goals in. And we were both walking at our desks before we sat down because, guys, this year's winding down and it's time to get to work on all of our goals, and sales being one of them. And I think LinkedIn really is kind of known for sales. I don't know. What do you guys think? Where are you finding your best leads online? I would love to know who's watching in with us and where you are hanging out online to get those goals met. And Mike, we have the perfect guest here this week.
Oh man, we do. Yeah, for LinkedIn, for B2B, Vivica's been with us before. She's a longtime friend, and she knows what it's all about. So I'm looking forward to that, because how many people, if they just raise their hand, drop a comment in there, get at least maybe every 2 days some pathetic outreach via LinkedIn, where it's spammy, it's scammy, it's scaly, it's just it's horrible. So Vivica's gonna say, yeah, let's get rid of that, but there is a way. So I'm looking forward to this. But for those who don't know her, let me give you a little background. She is the co-founder of Vengresso, the largest provider of full spectrum modern digital marketing transformation solutions, and Fly MSG, which we're going to hear about today, the world's coolest text expansion and training software. She's known as the LinkedIn expert. She's the author of best-selling LinkedIn Marketing, An Hour a Day, and 101 Ways to Rock LinkedIn. Okay, so we're going to talk about getting a rock today. She's been named to Forbes 4 years running as a top social media expert, regular contributor to Fast Company, Forbes, BuzzFeed. Do I really need to say more? Let's just bring her in. She's a speaker, Social Media Examiner. She's just all around awesome. And beyond that, I mean, she is a expert diver who spends a lot of time below the surface. So this is we're awesome. We're glad you could come up and join us today. It's like a mermaid.
I feel like a mermaid. It is raining dogs here in Costa Rica, so I feel a little bit like a mermaid right now. I'm cracking up. Spammy, scammy, and scaly. It's like the bad elves of LinkedIn.
That's what we're gonna have to start labeling them. No. Yeah.
No, it's spammy. That's scammy. That's scaly. That's sneaky. That's snotty. I don't know. I think we can come up with something though.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. It's obviously such a pleasure. I mean, at least I get to see you guys and hopefully everyone else in the audience as well.
Yeah. Let us know if you're watching in with us, where you're watching in from, so we can give you a hello as well. But Vivica, I know we've had this conversation with you, and I just love hearing your tips and tricks and just watching you shine on LinkedIn. But we all know LinkedIn is that place for business. And I think that's sometimes what attracts some of the wrong things that happen there too, because people are trying to take these shortcuts. But you've really taught the right way of engagement on LinkedIn. So I would just love for you to kind of kick things off with sharing one of your best tips for getting leads on LinkedIn that doesn't involve one of those slimy, scaly, smelly, stinky, all those things.
I love it. You know, it's yeah, like let me step on my soapbox right now. Hey, Chris. We all do it. If we went into our inbox right now, and I was pretty impressed, Mike, you only get one of those scammy, spammy, smelly, scaly messages every other day or so.
Well, I said that so that everyone could identify, right? Because I thought,
exactly.
they come. I thought everyone has to get at least every 2 days. That covers the world.
Exactly. I think you're right. I think you're right. And the problem is, and I'm sure each and every one of you listening right now has received this very same in mail or a message on LinkedIn. It's like, ooh, we can help you get leads on LinkedIn. If you want great, leads like this, we can help you with lead generation. Of course, what they're doing is using LinkedIn or using automation tools. And sometimes they work, but they have to be very, very, very personalized. And you have to have someone who is managing it, who really cares on the other end. But most of the time they don't work. Most of the time you get, and this is a real one, hey, sir, I noticed that you're in the cleaning supplies business. We are too. If you want great leads like this, just hit reply and let's connect. Like, not a sir, not cleaning supplies business. Hashtag fail, hashtag fail, hashtag fail, delete, report. And the problem is a lot of people who are like, yeah, I need more leads. I'm going to use LinkedIn. Oh, cool. Here's automation. It's only going to cost me $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. Awesome. All these leads are going to come pouring in. It's actually hurting your brand more than it's helping you. And the brand and the leads that you're getting are probably not very high quality anyway. So now I will step off my soapbox, at least for the next 10 seconds or so, and just say, it is so much better to look at quality over quantity when it comes to LinkedIn. And now I can back up even further from that and say, yes, LinkedIn is absolutely where you need to be if you're going to do B2B business. And there's a ton of great leads out there. And you have to find the right ones. And you have to take a few minutes to look at the profile. And you should always engage with your buyers before you ever reach out to them to officially connect. And then when you do reach out to them to officially connect, because you've engaged with them previously, there's a little bit of top of mind awareness, right? There's that, you've built a little of that KLT, that know, like, and trust factor. And then if someone does you the huge favor of granting your request to connect, don't go spam them. Don't go put them on your email list without their permission.
Mm-hmm.
Follow up in the same way that you would hopefully follow up in real life. Ask questions, share valuable content, which is not a sales pitch. And eventually, once you start the conversation, then you can ask for the meeting. But unfortunately, people just run right in. They're like, hey, buy my shits, buy my stuff. And, you haven't earned the right yet.
Amen. I was like, can I get an amen up in here? Because so true. And it's such a turnoff. And you're right. Like, you may be able to use some of those automation tools to get some leads, but I honestly feel like it does more damage in the long run anyway, because of all the people you just said, fail, report, right? Like, that then you'll never be able to connect with them. Whereas if you would have just taken a little bit of time, you may not get all of them, but you're not going to hurt your reputation or, people think negatively of you because of that kind of experience. Because I'm the same way. I will disconnect. I will report, turn in anything if they get to my inbox like that. It does not work.
I'm at my limit. I'm looking for a reason to get rid of people. So
Just give me one reason.
Yep.
One little reason.
Vivica, I don't want you to gloss over though that engagement before you reach out factor
Yeah.
that you just said there, because for the viewers, I think that maybe they're asking, okay, so what does that look like, or what does that involve? But because I think that's missed so much that I think maybe we better talk about that a little bit more so that they don't slide through that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let me go ahead and share my screen, and let me share the correct screen so you don't see my monitor, and then let me go off of there so we don't get the craziness. All right. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, cool. So yeah, absolutely. Let's engage with people first. Now, the great way of engaging with people first, right, is you go by Michael or Mike. There you go.
Mike, top one. There you go.
All right. That was easy, right? The great way to engage with people first is through their content. Now, we get that not everybody shares content, but if they do, do a happy dance. So there's a couple little ninja tricks I want to show you first of all. You can do this whether you're connected or not, but like Mike, I know he always shares great content. And if Mike is my perfect buyer, then the first thing I want to do when I find him on LinkedIn is ring his bell. So what does that do? That means, I'm going to go ahead and ring your bell. That means in the notifications, I'll be notified when Mike shares content before other people. So right now, my timeline is basically fed to me how LinkedIn's algorithm thinks I should be looking at it. It's kind of intelligent, but it's not super intelligent. By ringing Mike's bell, I know that I'm going to be able to see all of his content, which will allow me to engage with that content, which will help to build that KLT factor. Now, if you have Sales Navigator, which is LinkedIn's paid version, yay, you can save a lead. That's great. But this is kind of like the poor man's version of Sales Navigator. I can ring Mike's bell and then I can see his content. So that is for sure the easiest way for me to build that rapport. I see his content, it pops up in notifications, or, maybe I've saved his profile in a folder somewhere, or I use Sales Navigator and I've saved his profile. I can come down to his activity. I can see all his activity. I can sort here by posts. You can do all activity, but it's not as effective. So I can sort here by posts, and then I can take a look at what he's sharing, and I can like it. I can comment on it. And when I comment on it, of course, I want to @reply Mike so that he is notified that I commented on it. And then a great thing to do is ask a question, because now he's notified, he might click through. I've asked a question that's going to get him hopefully to respond to me. Once he's responded to me, it really helps to build that TOMA, that top of mind awareness. So then when I reach out, we're already connected, obviously. But then if we weren't connected, when I reached out to him and I invited him to connect, I would say, hey, thanks so much for sharing that post the other day. I asked you a question, you responded with blah, blah, blah. That was awesome. It really helped me. And I noticed we weren't connected. Can we do that? Can we connect? It's something real to bond over. And that unfortunately is missing in most options. Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay. So that's number one. But let's just say you've got like 90% of the people out there, folks who don't share a lot of content. If they've got something on their featured section, click through, check it out, right? Go into their contact info. You can go and check out their websites, their landing pages. If they've got their Twitter on there, by all means, jump into Twitter, see what they're talking about in Twitter. You can engage with their content on Twitter as easily as you can on LinkedIn, or at least you can reference it. Go into their About section, see if there's something that you have in common. If there isn't, or they don't have an About section, Run on down to their experience section. Maybe there's something in there you have in common. Maybe you worked at the same company at some point. If that doesn't work, go down to their education. Maybe you went to the same school. Go Muskrats or whoever the mascot is. What do they do? Do they volunteer work? Maybe you volunteered at the same place. Check out their skills. Maybe you were endorsed by the same people. Check out, oh, Ross, there we go. Check out their recommendations. Maybe you know someone who's recommended them.
And that's something that stood out to me. Just a couple things that you just shared. Like a couple people have like said, oh, I love that this person said this about within your recommendations, or calling out something that isn't completely obvious to show that they've taken the time to do that. And we're both connected to so-and-so, like that commonality part, like you stop, read, and we'll respond back to that. And you're right, like engaging first, that makes all the difference. You know, treating it like it's in real life.
It really does, you know, and unfortunately, again, people just use automation or they just get lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do have people go, but I found you on my mobile device and I can't customize the invitation on my mobile device. You actually can, it's just hidden. So if you find someone on your mobile device, maybe you're at a conference or a trade show, or you're on a Zoom together, you're in a webinar, you're watching the webinar on your laptop, but you want to connect on your phone. If you go to the person's profile, go to the 3 dots and click on the 3 dots, that's going to allow you to personalize the invite. Or it might be a case where you go to my profile, and because I've got creator mode set up, it says follow, not connect. You can still go to the 3 dots and invite me to connect, but customize that invitation as much as possible. You know, and not just, oh, it looks like we have a bunch of people in common. Who do we have in common? And let's drop some names. Let's talk about them. Like, right? So, hey, Mike, I noticed that you also know Andy Crestodino. Is he not like the smartest dude ever when it comes to SEO? You know, I could barely keep up with him mentally, or something like, are you following his what do they call him? Subscription on LinkedIn? It's, you know, it's really cool, or something about that person that you have in common that lets you know that, yes, I actually really know these people that we have in common. Unfortunately, I get, oh, we worked at the same company. Okay, tell me more about
we're in the same group. That one's a fail. That's a fail.
That's a fail. Like, I don't care. I don't go into my groups anymore, but at least tell me what group we're in together and why you like it. You just have to go just a tiny, tiny bit deeper. We call it the 3 by 3. Find 3 things in 3 minutes, and then just pick the 1 or 2 things and bring that into your introduction.
3 by 3, love it. Love
3
it.
by 3. You've been hit upside the head with a 3 by 3, right?
You rung his bell. Now you're hitting him upside by the 3 by 3.
Really?
Didn't realize how aggressive it was. No,
I know, super aggressive on LinkedIn, but the right kind of aggressive.
Yeah, good way. Good way.
Got it. Got it.
Right? The other thing that works really well in business, not just LinkedIn, is the referral. And what I love about LinkedIn is I can see who we have in common. So let's just pretend Mike and I weren't connected, or even if we were connected, but maybe I don't really know Mike that well, and I want someone to say, hey, have you reached out to Vivica lately? She really wants to be on your live. So in that case, what I would do, whether I know them or not, whether we're first connections or not, I can still see who we have in common, both in free LinkedIn and on Sales Navigator. So I'm going to run through here, and I actually know everybody here really well, but let's go ahead and pick on Andy and Jay and Dan and Heidi and Judy and Amy and Nathan. So here are, 5, 7, however many people I just said, people that I have in common with Mike. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, hey, Nathan, I noticed that you're connected to Mike. I am too, but I haven't chatted with him in a long time. And I would love if you throw in a good word for me. Hey, Amy, I noticed I noticed you're also connected to Mike, or I noticed you're connected to Mike. I would love to connect with him. I haven't chatted in a while, but I was hoping that you could facilitate an introduction. Hey, Judy. So I would go out and I would ask 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people if they were willing to introduce me. And then, Nathan, he's busy. Amy's busy. Judy's busy. Heidi's busy, but maybe she has time. Dan Dan I just talked to the other day. So he's like, sure, I'd be happy to do that. Jay's too busy. And then Andy's like, sure, I'd be happy to do that. So now I've got 3 people who said yes. So to Heidi, I'll say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to write the introduction for you. Please feel free to use it or not. That makes life easy for her if she just wants to copy and paste. So I literally would write the introduction to me for her, like, hey, this is Heidi. I wanted to introduce you to my friend Vivica, blah, blah, blah. And then the key here is, and will you please CC me on the introduction? Because if she doesn't CC me, then I don't know if she actually sent it or not. And if she does CC me, I can now communicate with Mike whether, we're technically introduced or not. And to Dan and Andy, I'm going to say thank you so much for being willing to introduce me to Mike. I really appreciate it. Heidi was able to introduce me the other day. I hope I didn't waste your time, and how are things? And we should let's get on the Zoom and catch up. So it's just a win-win situation all the way around. My best yes hopefully does the intro for me. I could even let Andy and Dan hang a little bit just in case Heidi doesn't follow through. But basically what we're doing here is we're looking at who we have in common, choosing our best yeses, asking them if they're willing to introduce us. Once they say yes, we're writing the introduction for them, CCing them on it, and going from there. It's super easy. And because you'll be doing this a lot, this is where having that script already created really, really helps. And we can talk about that in a minute too. But I just wanted to kind of go through because you asked, and then I'll stop the screen share. There we go. So we don't have the screen share to infinity and beyond. I just wanted to talk some of the best ways of engaging with people before connecting.
That was beautiful.
That is smart. And honestly, everybody's right in here. George says LinkedIn is such an underutilized tool. Amen. Amen. Hello, friend. And Chris says, agreed. Personalizing the connection request shows that request.
You bothered, right?
Yeah, you bothered. You bothered to actually take some time out and to really kind of personalize it and all that. But engagement, and I love the see first, it's not see first on LinkedIn, but the ringing the bell, because that does help you to kind of remember and stay in touch and get notified. And I loved your tip though, because I often forget about this, is to tag the person in your response back so they know that you're commenting and they get alerted too. And it also kind of, when you pose the question there to get them to reply back, now, it's more memorable, right? As well, because they're taking action. So I love that. Such great tips. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying these tips, we're going to be recapping this with a blog. So type the word recap in the chat here, and you'll get a notification in your inbox to subscribe to get the blog sent directly to your inbox with all these tips, as well as connection to Vivica and her site. Because Vivica, what the tools that you're talking about, I know with Vengresso, you have some tools that really help people maximize some of the LinkedIn too. Is there resources and things as we wind down here that people can connect with to help them in their journey?
Yeah, in fact, let me present again.
Awesome. Yes, please.
Yeah, one of the tools, and it's kind of funny, we just created Fly Message. And can you see my screen?
Now we can. Yes.
Okay, cool. So we created Fly Message as a support for our learners. Vengresso, we created it about 6 years ago. We're an enterprise virtual sales training company. And one of the things that we taught people is exactly what we're teaching you now is, you are going to end up sending similar messages over and over and over and over again, whether it's introduction requests, whether it's follow up to a connection on LinkedIn, and the many other, whether it's a sales cadence that you follow and you've got, letter A, letter B, letter C, email D, So we created Fly Message in order for people to be able to house those messages And then with just typing in a few quick, what we call a short code, they would be able to populate. And then what happened is we noticed we had way more people downloading and accessing Fly Message and using Fly Message than was using our training program, our completely on-demand training program. I mean, part of it was free, but we also had this really broad audience, like way above and beyond our B2B enterprise salespeople. We had, teachers, and we had pharmacists, and we had customer success people. And so all of these folks who were not our learners were accessing Fly Message, which we'll pop into chat, the access to Fly Message, which is actually just our website right now, vengresso.com. So we're like, okay, we're going to go into this full bore. We are now pivoting from being a sales training company with a software assist to a software company that also has sales training. And then what that allows us to do, you can see over here on the left-hand side, I've got all kinds of different types of messaging that I have categorized. And a big one is LinkedIn replies. So I have replies depending on if you're a vendor, if you were in a webinar with me, if you invite me to connect, I'm going to send you a Fly Message using the short code WebFU, which I realize in retrospect sounds mean, but it means follow up. I'm very appreciative that you watched me on this webinar. Someone requests information about my website, attended a session. There's just a bunch of different replies. And instead of searching for them, all I have to do is type in my short code. So as I go in here over to LinkedIn, let's just go ahead to my network, and people, I've already responded to most of these folks. Oh, little ninja trick in case you didn't know it. You can in fact respond to people who don't customize an invitation. You just have to go over here to where it says see all 89. So as I come down here, and I found some folks who invited me I was going through these earlier, found someone who invited me to connect who, didn't customize the invitation. They're not my buyer persona. I can still message them. I just typed in NFVR, no fly video reply. So I'm going to say, hey, Asma. And it's true, I'm actually at my 30,000 limit, so I can't actually connect right now. But I'm going to send her this little message, which, by the way, has a video embedded in it. And even though we're not connected, I did take the time to respond to her. Mind you, it was 3 seconds, not 3 minutes. She is able to engage with me, and I am able to build that relationship. And maybe we connect later on, maybe we don't. But it's my way of following up with everybody who's invited me to connect. And all of those messages live right here. So it's really easy for me to quickly engage with the people who invited me to connect on LinkedIn and build those, stop screen, and build those relationships.
That's awesome.
Boom. Yeah, no, that is tremendous there. And so, that's, again, just a couple of technical details. Like that's like browser based, right?
Yeah, it's browser based right now. We've got a Chrome and an Edge extension. Safari and Mozilla are coming next quarter. We are working on the app, but as we've discovered, becoming a software company means you have to hire a hashtag ton of developers and then manage the software development. And it's pivoting a company is no easy task, let me tell you.
Amen to all of that.
I know you know.
Yes, all of the things there. But yeah, especially developing an app, it's a whole other beast. We've been working on it ourselves too. And it's like, it works, but it's not something like I want to be all showy about yet. Like I want the next level first. George says, yeah. And he said, that's what we're for. Yeah, absolutely. Working on everybody else's stuff besides ours. but yeah, and he says, love the ninja tricks. And Chris wants a recap. Yeah, all the ninja tricks. And I just have to say, anybody that's going to send you a scaly, slimy, salesy message, at this point, you already know, doesn't know you, because they're like, Come on. Come on. You know who you're sending it to, right? But no, I love all your tricks. And Vivica, like if people want to find out more about you and learn and see more of your ninja tricks, what is the best place for them to connect with you?
TikTok.
TikTok? No?
Just kidding. I am on TikTok now, though. It's FlyViv. No, if you just Google LinkedIn expert, my LinkedIn profile is probably the first or second thing that's going to pop up. And then, yeah, just you can message me on LinkedIn even if we're not connected. So just send me a message on LinkedIn. Or if you go to our website, you just go to our team on the top right. You can book some time with me if you've got any questions about anything. But yeah, I'm more than happy to respond to any questions. And if you want to learn more about Fly Message or get a free copy of my book or just ask a question or just vent to me about how much LinkedIn sucks, I am happy. I am happy to respond to you on LinkedIn or via email, really anything. I'm good about that.
You're awesome like that. Yeah. No, but I love your tricks and tactics there on LinkedIn too, because it's all about, maximizing the time and while putting in the effort, right? So you can get the biggest impact and really kind of generate that momentum. I love that your tip on also replying back to people, even if you're not accepting their request. I have not done that before. So that's something, one of the tips I'm going to be taking with me and implementing into what I'm doing and my strategy as well. So thank you very, very much, as always, for all your tips. You guys, let us know what your favorite takeaway has been in the comments here. Again, type the word recap so you can get this sent to your inbox with connections to where to find Vivica online, or type in the LinkedIn expert and you can find her there. But thank you again so much for your time, Vivica. You're always just a wealth of information. We love having you on.
My pleasure. The time flies. Like, how is this a half hour?
I know, right?
No way.
I know. Kim, just enough. They want more, come back, like all the good things. But all right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in with us this week. I hope to see you back here next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you, Vivica. Thank you, Mike. Talk to you guys soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.